Take the Department of Education, close it. I'm going to close it. We'll have one person, could be you if you decide to retire.
Okay, Mr. President, here's what bothers
Central Casting.
here's what bothers me about that. So let's say you have a liberal city, let's Los Angeles, San Diego, and they just decide we're going to get rid of that history. We got new history. This is America built off the backs of slaves on stolen land. And that curriculum comes in.
Then we don't send them money. We would save half of our budget.
Okay.
And we're going to send. But if they want to do that,
because you do lose control when you go lower.
Well, we've lost control. We're number 40. We're last on the list. Okay. We're the worst there is, and we spend more money than.
Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
I keep seeing a whole bunch of people that don't look like me making videos saying that we need to do something, we need to march. No, we do not. We don't need to do nothing. The same way Target played and we took away that dollar, we'll just take away our dollar from everybody else who wants to play in our faces and play with us. Go ahead and put them signs up. We don't care nothing about that segregation. Put them signs up so we can take away our dollar. And you can learn just like Target learned. We do not care. We are resting for the next 4 years. We're resting, honey. We don't care nothing about what y'all do. We don't care.
So what's your take?
Bring back segregation.
100% disagree.
Dead act. Bring it back. I want to know where I'm not welcome, okay? Put them signs back up. Colors only, whites only. Let's do it, all right? Rip the Band-Aid off. Especially for a restaurant. Are you kidding me? Whites only? What do I want to do in there? What they got? Mashed potatoes? Mayonnaise? Hot dogs? Colors only, we got seasoning, turmeric, paprika.
Okay, I like this.
Okay.
You were saying that the black excellence.
Absolutely.
The segregation is to get
the colored excellence.
Okay.
Okay. What's the playlist in the whites only spot? They playing Carrie Underwood and Kid Rock. We playing Babyface and Diggable Planets. Ain't no overhead lighting. What are you talking about?
Wait, where am I going?
Colors.
Hell yeah.
Look at his hair. Talk about what?
So what's your take?
You should only use a spoon with a bowl and a fork with a plate.
100% disagree.
There is no need to cross over.
I'm in America. I'll use whatever the f I want to eat.
Oh, you're going to eat an ice cream out of a plate and use a fork?
If I want to.
That's so weird.
How do you eat pasta?
Pasta?
Because sometimes
They say they bringing back segregation. I ain't too mad at it because I got a couple lines I've been waiting to get off. Now I reckon you skim milk scallywags, quinoa conquistadors, pigment poaching napkin ninjas ain't for round here, is you? I'm gonna give you opportunity to scram. Gon' beat it. Or your ass will get switched. I got a jet fire with a button on. Now look, I'm hungry. I just want a little piece of pie. I done came all this way, got up off my couch. Now how much would it cost to turn one of them whites only pies into a nigger pie? Sour cream salamander, please. Did anybody tell you this is an all-black party, huh? Somebody get this mayonnaise monster away from me. Bettina Sugar, Mark is a white man, but Mark is cool. We rocking with Mark, because Mark is rocking with us, you got it? Now, you can't treat him like any of the other crackers around here because he ain't like any of the other crackers around here, you got that? You want us to treat him like black folks? No, that's not what I said.
Rolling back segregation. What are we going to do?
Not one goddamn thing. Not one goddamn thing. I speak for myself. It's my personal opinion. But I've been speaking about this and I spoke to leaders. And everybody I speak to say it's probably going to be the best thing that ever can happen to black people. A mandate for us to unite without consumption power. We got the greatest consumption power in the world. And you gonna mandate us to unite? Yeah. Ever since we integrated, our economic state has been worse. Our families have been torn apart. And when we made a decision to chose that, we got what we got now. And everybody that I see, that's why you don't hear no outcry from black people about this new executive order about segregation. I don't think we give a damn about it. I know I certainly don't. I ain't for it. I ain't pushing for it, but I ain't to get it. Correct me. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I keep seeing a whole bunch of people that don't look like me making videos saying that we need to do something, we need to march. No, we do not. We don't need to do nothing. The same way Target played and we took away that dollar, we'll just take away our dollar from everybody else who wants to play in our faces and play with us. Go ahead and put them signs up. We don't care nothing about that segregation. Put them signs up so we can take away our dollar. And you can learn just like Target learned. We do not care. We are resting for the next 4 years. We're resting, honey. We don't care nothing about what y'all do. We don't care.
They're bringing back segregation because they know a world without black and brown people is coming. And it terrifies them. Trump just rolled back protections that ban segregated facilities for federal contractors, and the internet's acting shocked. But me, I'm not surprised, clearly. This is what desperate power looks like. This isn't about restoring order or merit-based hires. This is a tantrum from an almost 80-year-old man. White supremacy is in its flop era, and it's grasping at any old trick it can find. Segregation? Really? I feel like that's how we know they're scared. Because let's be real, Black folks, we are unbothered. You can't shake people that have been surviving state-sanctioned violence since the dawn of time. We've had underfunded schools, medical negligence, and cultural erasure since day one. We don't panic when the system turns on us. We expect it. We don't fold. We multiply. We turn every block into a blueprint, every struggle into a strategy, and every threat into a legacy. As I said in my pinned video, a world without Black and brown people is coming. Not because we're disappearing, because we're divesting. From their politics, from their corporations, their watered-down narratives, their respectability games, we want no parts. We've seen what happens when we show up and we make America run, but this time we're choosing to build our own instead. And that's what scares them. Not the loss of power, but the loss of relevance. Because without our culture, our labor, our innovation, our souls, what is America really? Let them scramble. Let them cling to segregation like it's going to save them. We've already moved on. And when that world without us fully arrives, they're going to finally understand what unbothered really looks like.
Before everybody start fear-mongering and losing their fucking mind, just a quick reminder that we are Black. We are Black. Ain't nothing in this world Black people ain't been through. Not a single thing. You can't even name it. Nothing. Name one thing. You can't. We are the only race that is equipped to survive anything. Anything. Okay? Now granted, do we always want to be in survival mode? No. But sometimes you gotta avenge and be Thanos the fuck up. I mean, it ain't nothing that we ain't never did before. Let me remind you that George Bush had 2 terms. While we were getting bombed, he was fucking reading Dr. Seuss to some kindergartners. Not giving a fuck. Do you recall? Okay now. Come on now, tighten up. Y'all fear-mongering too fucking much. Relax. We're Black.
Alright, restaurants I think have officially thrown the towel in. They started doing stand-up comedy with their seating charts. Check this one out.
Well, I feel like Texas Bro House got us in the freaking
Texas Roadhouse quietly built a whole no tipping area in the back, as far away from the exit as possible. They didn't put up a neon sign that says problem customers only. They just started parking certain tables back there like it's the cheap seats at the comedy club. And the girl recording? She's the one exposing the quietest, funniest admission in restaurant history. The translation? This is where they seat the tables they already know aren't tipping, are gonna cause drama, and might even dine and dash. They just politely tucked them back there in the nosebleed section so the servers, they don't have to chase them to the parking lot when the check comes. They can't say the quiet part out loud, so they built an entire section for it. The same group, turning every restaurant into a potential war zone, now gets their own VIP ghetto lounge in the back. Meanwhile, the rest of us were up front getting actual service. This is peak comedy. Restaurants quietly admitting the patterns, while the girl filming is living proof that they know exactly who belongs back there. Hilarious and pathetic at the same time.
Y'all, the ban on segregated facilities in federal contracts has been banned, and guess what? Black people don't care. Wait a minute. Black people do not care. I love my people. Y'all know me. Y'all know I be reading comments. And so a lot of people have posted on this. And look, my throat is not even, my throat is acting up because I've been laughing so hard. Black people been in these comments talking about, and next, look, you got 2 types of black people in this situation. You got the black folks who like, good, we ain't want to be with y'all no way. And then the other type of black people you have is, all right, well, go ahead and segregate something. Go ahead and tell me I can't drink from a water fountain. Go ahead and tell me I can't come to your restaurant. And then when I step up in there, what you gonna do? I want to see you do something, right? So all of this is hilarious because this is straight craziness. This is straight foolishness that's going on in these United States of America, and black people do not care. Now, let me rephrase that. It's not that we don't care. It's just that this ain't nothing new to us. We knew y'all didn't like us. We already knew where we stood in these United States of America. And so this stuff is hilarious. Y'all trying to get a rise out of us. It ain't going to happen because we good and we sitting back laughing. And guess what? I'm here for it.
They say slavery didn't affect us. What's your response? How could slavery have not affected us? Our women are strung out on fake hair and blonde hair. Our men are strung out on white women. Black people own no institutions. We don't want to build no institutions. We got light skin supremacy and black skin supremacy issues. We are in love with white folks. We hate each other. Who said slavery doesn't affect us? Do you realize slavery just ended 157 years ago? My great-great-great-great-grandfather was born in slavery. Slavery was not that long ago. You have elders today whose grandparents were enslaved. You can find elders today whose grandparents were enslaved. And you can definitely find elders whose great-grandparents were enslaved. The white man is trying to paint slavery like an ancient event. And the reason he's trying to paint slavery like an ancient event, because he don't want to be held responsible for his role in it. Reparations, reparations, reparations. You understand me? He don't want to pay reparations, so he got to get black people to feel ashamed about talking about slavery. He has to motivate black folks to feel ashamed talking about slavery. I will never stop talking about what my ancestors went through. I will never stop talking about what my ancestors went through, brothers and sisters.
I just found out that they bringing back segregation. And let me tell you something. Tell your friends and your family, I don't even know if y'all got cousins or not. Tell them to hurry up and put them signs up. Act like we want them non-flavorless chickens anyway. We want flavor. Y'all ain't doing us no harm. Y'all be messy, like, come on, man, and I ain't trying to go against y'all, because I got a little bit of y'all in my blood, too, but we don't give a damn. And y'all want to sit there, not you, but people like you that voted for this man, y'all want to sit there and cry, talking about we need to stand together. When have y'all ever stood with us? We good over here.
Something that's ridiculous. Take the white people in the South that, or not only in the South, anywhere, that refuses to allow a Negro man or a Negro woman to sit in a restaurant, and then on the other hand turns around and wants a colored woman to come into their home and cook their food and serve them their dinner after having our hands all in their food. I think somebody's got to be crazy there.
You're absolutely right. You'll be labeled as a racist, 100%. And it's not just because you're white saying it's a black people. It's because you're white, and when you say that to black people, it's full of hatred. Here's the difference between black people and white people saying that they want segregation. White people want segregation so that they can abuse and harass black people. Black people want segregation so white people can leave us the fuck alone and we can live in fucking peace. I don't know if you know this, but when segregation first came around, guess what? Black people had thriving towns. They had banks. They had hospitals. Hell, they had a Black Wall Street. And guess what? White people couldn't fucking stand that. During the first set of segregation, white people thought that black people was finna hit rock fucking bottom and they was gonna turn back into fucking slaves for them. But that's not what happened. They started thriving and white people got mad. And what did white people do? Exactly what they always do. They came into those black towns, they burnt them down, or they put them under a fucking lake. Black people make their own town so they can live alone and in fucking peace away from white people. That's the difference. That is the fucking difference. White people want segregation because you're full of hatred and you're fucking evil. Black people want segregation because we sick of y'all and we want to live in fucking peace. So yeah, you're a racist. We're not.
They had the nerve, the audacity to let black folks suffer for 460 years. And at the end of the civil rights movement, rather than going back and saying, let's find out what has happened to black folk for 460 years. Have they been psychologically, emotionally, politically, educationally damaged? Nobody spent 1 minute of time trying to figure out what had happened to black folk over all that period of time. So in the course of the civil rights movement, at the end of it, they say, well, let's pretend that nothing has happened to them, that they were not injured, they were not hurt. And now let's go seek integration and pretend that we're all equal. Now that was grossly unfair, because by that point in time, in about the 1966 period, whites had become economic giants in America. They owned and controlled everything at that point in time. Black folk didn't own anything. Whites control almost 100% of all the wealth, the income, the privileges, the businesses, the resources, and all levels of government. Blacks had nothing. Blacks were 1-foot midgets. And they allowed us then to use integration to walk from our communities, from our ghettos over in their communities, totally disarmed, not understanding anything, blind, naked, and then saying that you can go and compete. Compete with what?
Legal. I know that segregation rollback was simply symbolic because of state and federal laws, but I want to see them do it, honestly. I know it's a ploy to get black people mad, but I'd honestly like to see companies actually put up signs. I would like to see which companies will not be getting my money. Because if you're going to be racist, be bold, be true about it, stand on it.
Black people, let's just segregate ourselves. Let's just segregate ourselves. Think about it. We keep saying this isn't our president. We didn't vote for this. We don't want any of this. And if we're being honest, black people are what's cool about America. Black things. Our dollar, we have $1 trillion buying power. Black women, we control the hair industry because we buy the most products. Literally everything. Black people are the consumer class. If we only spent with black people, if we took all of our money, all of our attention, all of our entertainers, all of our engineers, all of our doctors, we took all of our everything and only decided to service just us, we wouldn't be in any of this. We wouldn't be in any of this. Black people have made it clear we're not even going outside. We're not on the front lines. We're not picketing. We're not protesting. We're not doing any of this. We didn't vote for this. We didn't ask for this. So at this point, black people, and if we're being honest, when we go to events, what's the first thing we're looking to see? How many black people want to be there? How fun is it? What is it giving? Yeah, everything that is amazing about America, everything that is beautiful about America, everything that is dope, everything that is culture, everything that is a thing as it relates to American culture, it is black people. We are the owners of everything. We did it all first. Everything, 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 everything. Why don't we take our everything and keep it just for us? Black Wall Street, they didn't do that because we did anything wrong. They didn't burn it down because we were awful people. They did that because when our dollars were funneled specifically with us, we had hospitals, we had banks, we had pharmacies, we had infrastructure, we had schools, we had our own police, like everything, we had our own thing. And they were like, wait a minute, we're not making any money over here. We need their buying power over here. Desegregation was about money. It was always about money. It was never about nothing else. They didn't do it because, oh, they just felt so bad for us and now they feel like we're humans. Because if that was the case, they would do a better job at treating us like humans to this day. They don't. They still don't appreciate us, but they appreciate our dollars. We need to take our money, leave it within our community, take our entertainers, even that. The most entertaining thing about America, Beyonce, she's black. I mean, like, what are we talking about? Michael Jackson, he was black. Prince, he was black. Like, everything that is amazing about America is black people. Let's take it all back. Let's resegregate ourselves.
Blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today. They were less murderous. There was less break-ins. Why is that? And the data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil.
Hey, Auntie Bev here. In the video clip, Charlie Kirk says, in the 1940s, black people were better off because they were less murderous and they committed fewer crimes. He said the data shows they were better off, even though things were evil. But what he failed to mention was Jim Crow. Jim Crow laws were enacted throughout the South during the 1940s that kept black people in their place. Jim Crow laws enforced segregation. Black people were denied basic rights. Black people were often lynched, sometimes just for looking at a white woman. So yes, black people may have been better off in the 1940s, but the Jim Crow laws made sure they would stay in their place. Jim Crow, it's a part of history. Research it. Auntie Bev speaks.
This app about to go away, so I'm gonna say what I gotta say. So I just watched a really great video by this black woman who was talking about how segregation in today's world is really not about black people, it's about white people. And I'm not gonna summarize her video, but I will talk about something that recently came up in real life in conversation. And I was in a conversation with people that were half black, half white. Now, full disclosure, I am black and Chinese. My entire life, though, I have been identified as a black woman to society. Well, really an Oreo, but that's a conversation from a totally different video. But in talking about this whole segregation in 2025 topic, they were like, oh, you know, the internet is saying that segregation is a good thing and that, you know, it's been good for the black community. And I didn't say anything. I was just silent. But in the video, the person that I tagged, she talked a lot about how white people specifically have benefited from integration, because even though we were supposed to be promised separate and equal, or, you know, together and equal, it has not been equal for black people. Black people still are not paid the same as white counterparts. Black people still are not afforded the same opportunities, especially since the rollback of the affirmative action. Black people are still at the hands of police brutality. Like, it really hasn't done like a huge thing. However, with white people being in close proximity to black people and minorities in general, they have been afforded the opportunity to be educated on how their ancestors have behaved both currently and previously in history. And it's because of that proximity of white people to minorities, specifically black people, that they have been able to learn, grow, flourish, and with apps like TikTok have been able to change the overall perception of history, specifically in the United States. Now let's get back to the conversation that I was having in real life. So I was having a really hard time of understanding where these people were coming from, the people that were half white, half black. Because as someone who is mixed, right, black and Chinese, the one drop rule has applied to my life through and through. In fact, a lot of people have actually denied that I am Chinese, even though I know my heritage and where I come from, at least that part of my family. So what I asked in that conversation was, well, if you had to choose, would you go with your black family or your white family? And they both said I would go with my black family. And I said, why? And they said, well, they're just a lot more fun. Like, I feel like I have community. I feel like I have people that really like stick beside me. And what I really think it boils down to is community, because minorities have been forced to assemble their own communities because of oppression, because of things like segregation. And in doing so, are able to support their own people regardless of, you know, what those people look like, because of the way they have been oppressed in the past. Which is why you see today a lot of black people online are like, oh, I don't care if we're segregated or whatever. But a lot of white people are like, no, we can't do this, because they would in fact lose their community. The best way that I can think to put this in perspective for people who just aren't getting it is when we look at men and women. So right now, men are going through this loneliness epidemic, right? Where a lot of women just don't want to get married. They're not really interested in dating. They are buying their own homes. They're working their own jobs. They're making, you know, their multiple six-figure salaries, whatever. They have their own businesses. They can have their own bank accounts without men. They can do whatever without men. So women are like, why would I opt to be in a relationship with a man when I can just do bad all by myself? When you look at men who typically don't have as flourishing of a community or as well-rounded of a community as women do, right? Relationships typically aren't that deep with other men. They also aren't really emotionally available with other men, or have like different opportunities where they can feel like they can be emotionally safe with other people. When they are in relationships, they seek a lot of emotional support from women because they don't have that in other aspects of their life. So the fact that women are going off and doing their own thing and don't give a damn about men, it's really hurting the men, and the men are like, no, we don't want this. But if men would actually, you know, be more emotionally available with their friends, you know, go to therapy, talk about their feelings, you know, have, you know, celebrations and birthday parties and just deeper friendships and connections and relationships like women do, then they wouldn't really be bothered if women were doing all the things that we're already doing on our own. It's patriarchal beliefs that are holding men back from living their best lives, because now that women are separate and mostly kind of ish equal, depending on who you're talking to, we can go off and do our own thing and live our best lives. Similarly, black people have their own community, have their own restaurants, banks, shops, businesses, influencers, all of it, right? So white people who don't really have the same community, who don't have the same deep connections, don't have the same village of people to really be behind them in their own culture and their own lives, are going to be missing out because they don't have the support from minorities, aka black people in this case. And in that scenario, it's white supremacy, which hint is very closely related, if not cousins, to patriarchy, because if white people actually had their own communities where they were flourishing and it didn't really need to rely on minorities, and they could be fine all by themselves. In case you needed yet another example of how white people don't really have community, is since January 15th, Inauguration Day, I have not seen a single viral protest video or slew of videos. I haven't seen a single one. I'm on the internet every single day. Haven't seen one. Why? Because they aren't out there. They're not protesting. There's no community. There's no organization. There's no one to really spearhead the movement. Who typically spearheads all the activism and protests and any civil rights related movements? Black people. While I still have you here, I would like to also point out that because white people don't have these big, flourishing, supportive communities like other minorities do, they really grasp hold of their communities in real life, so like their families and, you know, their people they hang out with at the country clubs, et cetera, et cetera. So when things like a presidential election happens and people find out that their other half of their family actually voted for someone that they don't support, it is actually less likely that they're going to leave that family because it's literally the only semblance of community they have that does not involve minorities. So I'm going to conclude this TED Talk by saying that whether or not you believe segregation was positive or negative for the Black community, I better not see a single Black person at a protest or marching on April 5th.
Rolling back segregation. What are we going to do?
Not one goddamn thing. Not one goddamn thing. I speak for myself, just my personal opinion. But I done speaking about this and I spoke to leaders. And everybody I speak to say it's probably going to be the best thing that ever can happen to Black people. A mandate for us to unite without consumption power. We got the greatest consumption power in the world. And you going to mandate us to unite? Yeah, ever since we integrated, our economic state has been worse. Our families have been torn apart. And when we made a decision to chose that, we got what we got now. And everybody that I see, that's why you don't hear no outcry from Black people about this new executive order about segregation. I don't think we give a damn about it. I know I certainly don't. I ain't for it. I ain't pushing for it, but I ain't to get it. Correct me and tell me if I'm wrong in the comments.
I wish more people understood that they didn't just oppress Black people, they reversed the narrative. White supremacy and white people, period, would crumble if Black people actually understood more about themselves. Who we are, where we come from, the spiritual technologies we mastered, the civilizations we come from, the resilience built into our bodies through our melanin. Melanin impacts our brain chemistry. Melanin impacts our sensory functions. We adapt even better to harsh climates. Like, we are very strong individuals by nature. That's why I don't like that we demonize us being strong as people, because we are strong. We were made to be strong. It is survival of the fittest at the end of the day, and after everything we've endured, we're still here. We're strong. But they labeled us primitive and savage and demonic and unintelligent and inferior, yet they came to our lands and studied what we were doing. So what they were doing was just reversing the narrative of everything that they're not, they put it on us. White superiority could never stand on its own. It has to be manufactured. There is no cultural, historical, and scientific backing to them. That's why when people deem them attractive, with all due respect, I say, for what reason are they attractive? What is it about them? It is only their whiteness, which has been marketed to us to find attractive, because there's actually nothing very attractive about them. You would have to like them for their whiteness. And they fiercely protect themselves, and they always will. They always will. I recently watched this show called The Diplomat on Netflix, and it is just so funny to me how they put the most basic bitch of a white woman, with all due respect. And it was part of the storyline, but she was the Black man liked her, the white man liked her. She was the hottest bitch on the block. But if you saw her, you were like, I don't really see what's so enticing about her. Never mind, she had a bad attitude. She was a raging feminist. She was a difficult wife, but still was made out to be the most beautiful or desirable, that's the word, desirable person. You see how they protect themselves? They push the most mediocre, basic woman. And this is why even when we talk about Black women in our wombs and our aging, oh, women are cooked. I hear Black men quoting white supremacist talking points. Oh, women are done by the age of 28. White women are. Black women are not. Have you seen, just type in 40-year-old Black women on TikTok. Just type it in. We don't need to be rich and have a bunch of expensive treatments to preserve ourselves. Melanin naturally preserves us. As long as we keep our weight in check and keep our spirits with joy, we will look good for a very long time. We don't age the same way. Now, if you are to take any of this as Black supremacy and she's hating on white people and all of this type of stuff and this is mean, let me tell you now, you're a coon. If the truth registers to you,
because there's nothing here I've said that is just purely opinions. This is truth. If it registers to you as black supremacy rather than just that's truth, or oh, I'd like to study this, I'd like to look more into this, then yeah, this page is probably not for you, because you clearly don't love the truth. And you aim to make white people comfortable. I don't. I have never had a desire. That's why I've never stayed in jobs long term, because I've just never had a desire to appease white people at all. There's not one bone in my body that cares. It is not black superiority. It's just simply correction of the narrative that they've spewed, and that a lot of us unfortunately have ingested and believe to be true. I really hope black people just study and come home to themselves, reverence your ancestors. Religion keeps a lot of us so docile, but that's a whole nother topic. Just stop swallowing white lies about who you are.
This could cost me followers, and if it does, I'm okay, because I know I've lost the right ones. In 2024, if you don't understand that white privilege doesn't equal financial privilege, there's a good chance it's because you choose to be willfully ignorant. White privilege doesn't mean that you grew up rich or that you didn't have a hard life. It's the concept that by the mere coincidence of you being born white or white presenting, that you have an inherent privilege. You're afforded certain benefits of the doubt that not everyone gets. It's the difference from a white person walking into a store and a customer salesperson walking up and saying, "Hi, can we help you find something today?" To a black person walking in that same store with that same customer service person following them around because they looked kind of suspicious. It's the black family that can't leave their family photos hanging on the wall when they're selling their house because the home appraiser might undervalue their house by as much as $500,000. And for fuck's sakes, you've never had to apologize for being white. Had your parents fucked on a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday, you wouldn't even be you. Rather, just acknowledge that the system that was designed by and for people that look like you has never been a level playing field. I hope this made it clear. Have a great fucking weekend.